Look around you. The world is not fair. It never was. And it never will be. And the most dangerous, most venomous lie you have ever been told is that it should be. Right now, at this very second, while you are sitting there playing by the rules, someone else is rewriting them to their advantage. While you are patiently waiting for your turn, someone else is stepping over you to take what should have been yours. While you are torturing yourself, trying to be fair to everyone, you are being played for a fool. You have been sold a fantasy. A beautiful, comforting, and utterly crippling fantasy. It's a psychological trap, an invisible prison for your potential, designed with one purpose: to keep you manageable, predictable, and eternally weak. That trap has a name: fairness. 500 years ago, in a world of open betrayal and brutal power plays, one man saw through the illusion. Machiavelli looked at the raw, unfiltered reality of power, and he wrote down the forbidden truth that our modern, civilized society still tries desperately to hide from you. The game is never, ever fair, and those who pretend it is are always the first to be crushed. The person who clings to fairness is a sheep negotiating with a wolf. The negotiation only ends one way. By the end of this video, this masterclass in reality, you will not only see this lie for what it is, you will shatter it. You will stop begging for a justice that will never arrive from the outside. You will stop being a victim of a game you didn't understand. And you will learn how to build the kind of cold, strategic power that makes the world bend to your will. Not because it is fair, but because you have become a force that reality itself must reckon with. This knowledge is a weapon. Use it to defend yourself, not to harm the innocent. Use it to build an empire, not to burn down villages. Now, before we descend into the real mechanics of power, you must make a choice. To leave the fantasy behind. Lock this choice into your mind and burn it into the comments below. ***, I choose strength over fairness. ***. Let's give this disease a proper name. Let's call this what it truly is. ***, the fairness trap. Anatomy of a psychological prison. ***. It is the invisible cage that keeps good, hard-working people in last place for their entire lives. And you are living inside it. From your earliest moments, you were programmed. Your parents, your teachers, your society, they all installed this flawed operating system into your mind. Share your toys, even if you don't want to. Apologize, even if it wasn't your fault. Consider everyone's feelings. These weren't lessons in morality. They were lessons in compliance. They taught you to believe that being fair is a virtue, a sign of good character. In reality, in the cold, hard world of power dynamics, it is a declaration of surrender. It is a willing sacrifice of control. You operate under the delusion that the world is a court of justice. You believe that if you present your case with enough evidence of your goodness, your hard work, your fairness, a cosmic judge will rule in your favor. But that's not how human nature works. The world is not a courtroom. It is an arena. And in the arena, there are no rules of fairness. There is only strength, strategy, and will. The weak person stands in the middle of the arena, bleeding, and screams to the heavens about injustice. The powerful person understands that the arena has no judge. He is the justice. He is the force that determines the outcome. When your mind is obsessed with what's fair, you become pathologically reactive. You drain your precious mental energy analyzing things that have already happened. What you should have gotten. Who should have supported you. Why the rules should have protected you from this outcome. This is the monologue of the victim. It is a loop of powerlessness. Meanwhile, the strategist, the person who will take your promotion, your opportunity, your market share, is focused on a single, ruthless question. ***, what is the most effective move I can make right now to win? ***. Your obsession with fairness makes you hopelessly, fatally predictable. People learn you. They study you like a simple machine. They know you won't seize a golden opportunity if it feels unfair to a competitor. a competitor who would crush you without a second thought. They know you will concede the last 10% in a negotiation just to appear reasonable and end the conflict. They know, most dangerously of all, that they can wield your own morality as a weapon against you. They can whisper the word selfish, and you will crumble. They can accuse you of being unfair, and you will bend over backward to prove them wrong, giving them exactly what they want. Machiavelli saw this fatal flaw with chilling clarity. He once wrote, "Men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities that a deceiver will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived." Your desperate, burning need for a fair and just world is your present necessity. It is the psychological button that manipulators, rivals, and users are pressing every single day to exploit you. They don't need to break down your door. You hand them the key, because you believe that's the fair thing to do. But today, you change the locks. Here are the 7 ruthless lessons of strategic power that will permanently free you from the fairness trap. Study them. Internalize them. Live them. ##**. Lesson number 1. Fairness is a psychological cage, and you hold the key. ****. Most people live their entire lives seeing the world through the bars of a cage. A cage built not of steel, but of imaginary rules they didn't create and dare not question. Their internal monologue is a constant chant of limitation. I can't ask for that raise, it wouldn't be fair to the team. I can't start that business, someone else had a similar idea first. I can't leave this relationship, I've invested so much time, it wouldn't be fair. This thinking doesn't make you noble. It doesn't make you honorable. It makes you a willing prisoner. It makes you powerless. The strategist, the Machiavellian mind, operates from a place of radical freedom. They do not ask, "Is this fair?" They ask a more potent, more terrifying question. ****, is this effective? ****. Let's dissect this. Effectiveness is tied to your purpose. Fairness is tied to external, often undefined, social rules. When you prioritize effectiveness, you are aligning your actions with your deepest goals. When you prioritize fairness, you are aligning your actions with the approval of the crowd. A crowd that, more often than not, wants you to stay exactly where you are. Think about the last major promotion at your workplace. Be brutally honest. Did it go to the person who quietly worked the longest hours, who took on extra tasks without complaint, who patiently waited for their fair recognition? Or did it go to the person who, while competent, also understood the game? The one who strategically built relationships with decision-makers, who made sure their victories were visible, who articulated their value in a way that couldn't be ignored. The world does not reward quiet, fair compliance. It rewards bold, strategic action. The cage of fairness is comfortable. It protects you from the burden of making hard choices. If you fail, you can always blame the system for being unfair. You can find solace in your victimhood. "I did everything right," the fair man says, "but the world is unjust." This is the most seductive part of the trap. It gives you a noble reason for your own mediocrity. The strategist rejects this comfort. They accept that the world is an arena of competing interests. They understand that every great reward is guarded by risk and competition. They would rather attempt to seize what they want and fail, than to sit in a cage and complain about the rules. Fairness becomes the ultimate excuse you give yourself for not taking what you truly want out of life. It's the dignified cloak you wear to hide your fear of failure, your fear of judgment, your fear of your own ambition. Here is the key to unlocking the cage. You must redefine what fair means to you. Is it fair to your potential to let it wither and die in the name of social harmony? Is it fair to your dreams to sacrifice them on the altar of other people's comfort? Is it fair to your future self to live a life of quiet regret because you are too afraid to be seen as unfair today? No. The only true fairness is being fair to your own sovereign will. From now on, when faced with a decision, run it through a new filter. Erase the question, "Is this fair?" and replace it with these. 1. Does this action move me closer to my ultimate goal? 2. What is the most effective path to the outcome I desire? 3. Am I avoiding this action because of a genuine ethical principle, or because I fear the judgment of others? When you begin to think this way, the bars of the cage begin to dissolve. You stop seeing limitations and start seeing possibilities. You stop seeing rules and start seeing levers of power. The world belongs to those who are willing to act, to create, to build, and sometimes to disrupt. It does not belong to those who wait for permission. ###*. Lesson number 2. Stop negotiating for respect. Start dictating the terms. ***. Fair people believe respect is something to be earned through good behavior and then, if it is violated, negotiated back into existence. Powerful people understand that respect is a non-negotiable condition of engagement. It is not requested, it is required. When someone wastes your time, interrupts you, or subtly disrespects you, the fair person's response is to engage in a conversation. They explain their feelings. When you did X, it made me feel Y. They appeal to the other person's empathy. They hope for an apology and a change in behavior. You are, in effect, negotiating for your own dignity. This strategy almost never works. Why? Because you have immediately surrendered the position of power. You have turned your boundary into a topic for debate. You have made your feelings subject to their approval. You have communicated that your respect is so fragile, it can be taken away and then discussed as if it were a shared commodity. The powerful response is not a conversation. It is a consequence. You don't argue. You act. You silently, calmly, and immediately withdraw the single most valuable resource you possess: your attention and presence. Let's paint a picture. You are in a meeting, and a colleague consistently interrupts you. The fair person's move: after the meeting, you pull them aside. "Hey, I felt a little disrespected when you interrupted me. Could you maybe not do that?" You have just turned yourself into a supplicant. The powerful person's move: the moment the colleague interrupts, you stop talking. You turn your full, unwavering attention to them. You hold eye contact. You do not speak. You let the silence hang in the air, thick and uncomfortable. You wait for them to finish. Then, instead of continuing your point, you turn to someone else in the room and say, "Sarah, what were your thoughts on the previous slide?" You have just erased the interrupter from the conversation. You have dictated, through action, that their behavior results in social irrelevance. This is what Machiavelli meant when he wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." Fear, in this strategic context, is not terror or cruelty. It is the deep, instinctual understanding that you are a person of unwavering standards, and that crossing you has real, immediate, and non-negotiable costs. This principle must be applied with the precision of a surgeon. When a friend repeatedly cancels plans at the last minute, you don't send an angry text. You simply stop inviting them. The consequence is the loss of access to you. When a family member makes a condescending remark, you don't start a family drama. You end the conversation immediately and create emotional distance. The consequence is the loss of intimacy with you. When a client haggles on your price after an agreement, you don't renegotiate. You withdraw the offer. The consequence is the loss of the opportunity to work with you. Notice the pattern. The consequence is always delivered calmly and without emotional outburst. Emotion is weakness. A cold, calculated action is a statement of power. It says, "I do not need to explain my boundaries to you. You will learn them by observing the consequences of your own actions." People who are used to manipulating fair people will be shocked by this. They may call you difficult or unreasonable. This is a test. They are trying to pull you back into a negotiation. Do not take the bait. Your silence and your actions are your final answer. Dictating terms means you are the one who sets the price of admission for being in your life. That price is a baseline of respect. It is not up for discussion. ###***. Lesson number 3. Recognize your morality as their favorite weapon. ***. There is a dark truth about human interaction that fair people refuse to see. Your goodness, Your desire to be ethical and just is often the most effective weapon others can use against you. Manipulators, users, and narcissists absolutely love people who are deeply committed to being fair. Why? Because your own moral code becomes the perfect tool for your own subjugation. They know that your greatest fear is being seen as a bad person, and they will exploit that fear ruthlessly. Here is how the playbook works. They will cross a clear boundary. When you attempt to enforce it, they won't argue the facts. They will attack your character. They will frame your strength as cruelty. They will frame your boundaries as selfishness. They will frame your self-respect as arrogance. Let's take a concrete example. You lend a friend money, with a clear agreement to be paid back by the 1st of the month. The date passes. You politely inquire. Instead of an apology, you get a story. A sob story about their struggles, their hardships. Then comes the attack. I can't believe you're pressuring me right now, when I'm going through so much. I thought you were my friend. I guess I was wrong about you being a kind person. Do you see the move? The conversation is no longer about their broken promise. It's about your supposed lack of compassion. The fair person immediately falls into this trap. They feel a surge of guilt. They start questioning themselves. Am I being unreasonable? Am I a bad friend? They back down, apologize, and the debt is forgotten. The manipulator wins. They used your own morality to defeat you. The strategist sees this for what it is, a calculated diversion, a psychological smokescreen. The strategist's response is to ignore the emotional bait and stay laser-focused on the original principle. I understand you're going through a tough time, and I'm sorry to hear that. Our agreement was for the 1st of the month. When can I expect the payment we agreed upon? The strategist refuses to let their character be put on trial. They refuse to engage with the emotional manipulation. They treat the transaction with the cold, impersonal logic it deserves. You must learn to become immune to these attacks. You must understand that when someone resorts to questioning your character, it is almost always because they have lost the argument on the facts. It is the final gambit of the desperate. Machiavelli advised the prince to know how to act as a beast. He wasn't advocating for savagery. He was advising leaders to understand that not all conflicts can be resolved through reason and virtue. Sometimes, you must recognize when you are dealing with someone who operates on a more primal level of manipulation and self-interest, and you must refuse to play their game by their rules. You must develop a psychological armor. When people accuse you of being selfish for setting a boundary, hear it for what it is. I am angry that I can no longer use you. Unkind for delivering a hard truth. Hear it for what it is. I preferred your comfortable lies. Difficult for not immediately complying. Hear it for what it is. I am frustrated that you are not as controllable as I had hoped. Your desire to be a good person is noble, but you cannot allow that desire to be twisted into a leash that others use to lead you wherever they please. True morality is not about being liked. It's about being effective in the pursuit of what is right. And sometimes, that requires you to be completely indifferent to being called a bad person by someone who is trying to take advantage of you. Make your decisions based on strategic outcomes and your own internal compass, not on the fear of emotional blackmail. Lesson number 4. Abandon hope. Build leverage. The entire philosophy of fairness is built on the most fragile of all human emotions: hope. You hope that people will recognize your worth. You hope that the system will eventually reward your hard work. You hope that if you are just good enough for long enough, things will work out. But hope is not a strategy. It is a lottery ticket. And it is the currency of the powerless. The powerful do not operate on hope. They operate on leverage. What is leverage? Leverage is your capacity to influence an outcome, not by asking or wishing, but because you hold a position of strategic advantage. It is the cold, hard reality that makes your desires relevant to others. There are two primary forms of leverage: 1. Leverage of value. You possess a skill, a resource, or knowledge that others desperately need. They must treat you well to gain access to it. 2. Leverage of detachment. You are genuinely prepared to walk away from a deal, a relationship, or a situation if your terms are not met. Your lack of desperation gives you immense power. The fair person spends their life trying to be liked, hoping that affection will translate into opportunity. The powerful person spends their life building leverage, knowing that necessity is a far more reliable motivator than affection. Consider a bad work environment. The fair employee stays, works hard, and hopes that management will one day see their loyalty and fix the toxic culture. They are operating on hope. The strategist, while still performing their duties, is operating differently in the background. They are sharpening their skills, getting new certifications, building a network outside the company, and quietly taking interviews. They are building leverage. One day, both decide they've had enough. The fair employee goes to their boss and complains, giving an ultimatum based on fairness. The boss, knowing the employee has no other options, offers a small concession and the employee stays, still trapped. The strategist goes to their boss with a new job offer in hand. They don't complain. They state their new reality. The dynamic has shifted entirely. The company must now meet their terms, or lose them. This is the difference between hope and leverage. Machiavelli understood this with absolute clarity. He wrote, ***, he who builds on the people, builds on the mud. ***. He meant that relying on the goodwill, affection, or fairness of others is like building your fortress on unstable ground. It will inevitably collapse. You must build your fortress on the solid rock of your own strategic advantage. Stop investing your energy in being liked. Start investing your energy in becoming necessary. Identify the most valuable skills in your field and master them until you are in the top 5%. Build a financial foundation that gives you walk-away money, so you are never forced to accept a bad deal out of desperation. Create multiple options in every important area of your life: career, social circles, income streams. Never allow one person or one entity to have total control over your well-being. Practice the art of emotional detachment. Learn to want things without needing them. This psychological shift alone will change how you carry yourself, and people will feel it. When you have leverage, you stop asking for what is fair. You start stating what is acceptable. The world doesn't respond to your pleas for justice. It responds to your demonstrated power to choose. Stop hoping. Start building. ###. Lesson number 5. Obsess over outcomes, not intentions. ***. In the court of public opinion, and in the private ledger of your own life, you are judged by one thing and one thing only: your results. The world does not care about your good intentions. It does not reward your noble efforts. It does not remember your heartfelt attempts. It remembers what you achieved. You can spend your entire life trying to be a fair, kind, and considerate person. You can have the purest heart in the world. But if you achieve nothing of significance, you will be remembered for nothing. Or worse, you will be remembered as a well-intentioned failure. This is a truth that makes fair people deeply uncomfortable. They prefer the comfort of judging themselves by their intentions. I meant well, they say. I tried my best. This is a coping mechanism for mediocrity. The strategist is ruthlessly, unapologetically obsessed with outcomes. They are willing to be misunderstood, criticized, and even disliked in the short term if it is necessary to achieve victory in the long term. They understand that the most effective path is rarely the one that makes everyone feel comfortable and happy along the way. Think of a great surgeon. Her intention is to heal, but her actions involve cutting someone open. In the moment, it is violent and painful. The outcome, however, is life. A fair surgeon, afraid to cause pain, would never make the incision. Their good intentions would lead to death. This is a stark metaphor, but it applies to every area of life. The fair leader avoids difficult conversations and hard decisions to keep the team happy. The outcome, The team slowly loses its edge, the best performers leave, and the entire department fails. The strategist leader makes the unpopular decision, holds people accountable, and demands excellence. The process is uncomfortable. The outcome? A winning team that respects their leader not for being nice, but for leading them to victory. You must stop measuring your own worth by how fair or good your process was. You must begin measuring yourself by a single, brutal metric. Asterisk asterisk, did you achieve the outcome you were fighting for? Asterisk asterisk. If the answer is no, then your good intentions are irrelevant. You must analyze your strategy, not defend your intentions. This mindset shift is profound. It forces you to take radical responsibility. There are no more excuses. It pushes you to be more creative, more resilient, and more strategic. When the only thing that matters is the result, you stop wasting time on activities that feel productive but aren't. You focus only on what moves the needle. When someone criticizes your methods, you don't get defensive. You can calmly absorb the critique because your confidence isn't in your method. It's in your ability to produce the outcome. If their critique helps you get a better outcome, you adopt it. If it doesn't, you discard it without emotion. This is what it means to be misunderstood for the sake of victory. You will have to make choices that people who are obsessed with fairness will not understand. You will have to prioritize, cut losses, and make calculated sacrifices. They will call you cold or ruthless. Let them. While they are busy debating the fairness of your tactics, you will be busy achieving the goal. And in the end, history remembers the victor, not the critic. ###**. Lesson number 6. Understand that complainers lose, and strategists learn. The act of complaining about unfairness is perhaps the most profound signal of powerlessness a human being can emit. It is the anthem of the victim. It is a verbal admission that you see yourself as a passive object to whom things happen, rather than a sovereign subject who makes things happen. Every single moment you spend complaining about an injustice is a moment you are not strategizing your victory. Energy is finite. You can invest it in outrage, or you can invest it in analysis. You cannot do both. The fair person's response to a setback is to fixate on the injustice of it. This isn't fair. I can't believe they did that to me. The system is rigged. This response, while emotionally validating in the short term, is strategically bankrupt. It achieves nothing. It changes nothing. It only serves to reinforce your own sense of helplessness. When a strategist encounters an unfair situation, their mind works in a completely different way. They suppress the initial wave of outrage and immediately shift into analytical mode. They ask a series of cold, detached questions. 1. Causation How did this really happen? What were the sequence of events and decisions, mine and others, that led to this outcome? 2. Vulnerability What weakness in my own position, knowledge, or network did this situation expose? 3. Opportunity Is there any hidden advantage in this setback? Can this failure be reframed as a strategic retreat, a learning experience, or a chance to pivot? 4. Prevention How can I alter my strategy, build new defenses, or acquire new leverage to ensure that this exact type of unfairness can never happen to me again? Do you see the monumental difference? The complainer is stuck in the past, replaying the injustice. The strategist is in the present, analyzing the data, and already planning for the future. The complainer sees setbacks as personal insults from the universe. The strategist sees setbacks as priceless, unfiltered data from the real world. A failed business venture isn't a cosmic injustice. It's a PhD in market realities. A betrayal isn't a tragedy. It's a masterclass in human nature and a lesson in vetting your allies. This is why strategists so often win in the long run. They metabolize their failures. They convert the poison of defeat into the antidote of wisdom. Complainers, on the other hand, just keep drinking the poison, getting weaker and more bitter with every sip. You must train yourself to kill the complainer inside you. The moment you feel the urge to vent about how unfair something is, stop. Take a breath and force your brain to switch from the emotional outrage circuit to the strategic analysis circuit. Grab a piece of paper and write down the answers to the 4 questions above. This practice will feel unnatural at first. Your brain is conditioned to seek the easy comfort of complaint, but with repetition, you will forge new neural pathways. You will begin to automatically see opportunity in adversity. The world is full of people complaining about traffic. The strategist is already checking an alternate route on their map. Be the strategist. ###*. Lesson number 7. Create your own justice, for no one else will. ***. This is the final and most crucial lesson. It is the culmination of everything we have discussed. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for the world to become fair. Stop waiting for others to give you what you deserve. Stop waiting for some external system of justice to recognize your virtue and reward you. That day will never come. You must become powerful enough to create your own justice. When you have accumulated enough influence, resources, skills, and strategic competence, you transcend the petty debates of what is fair and what is not. You are no longer a player in someone else's game, reacting to their rules. You become the game maker. You set the terms. You create the environment. You define the rules of engagement. You become the source of justice in your own sovereign life. What does this look like in practice? It means building a career so valuable that you dictate your salary and working conditions, rather than begging for a fair wage. It means cultivating a character so respected that people treat you with dignity, not out of obligation, but out of genuine admiration for your strength. It means creating a life of such abundance and optionality that you can afford to walk away from any person or situation that does not meet your standards. This is the ultimate endgame. Not to find a fair system, but to become the system yourself. Machiavelli taught this in his own way. He said, ****, it is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles. ****. He understood that true power never comes from an external authority granting you a position or declaring you fairly treated. It comes from you, the individual, becoming so formidable, so valuable, and so strategically sound that any title you hold becomes honored simply because you are the one who holds it. Your power doesn't come from a system finally granting you fairness. It comes from you becoming so undeniably powerful that treating you with fairness becomes the only logical, self-interested choice for others to make. They don't do it because they are moral. They do it because not doing so would be a strategic error on their part. This is the peak of the mountain. To arrive here requires you to internalize every lesson, to escape the psychological cage of fairness, to dictate your boundaries, to become immune to moral manipulation, to build leverage instead of hope, to obsess over outcomes, to learn from setbacks instead of complaining about them. This is your life's great work, to transform yourself from a pawn who hopes the game is fair, into the player who architects the victory. You now stand at a crossroads, a defining moment. You can continue down the well-trodden path. You can live in the comfortable, predictable, soul-crushing prison of the fairness trap. You can spend the rest of your days feeling that constant, dull ache of resentment as you watch others, perhaps less deserving but more strategic, take what you believe should be yours. You can keep hoping that one day, the world will magically wake up and finally recognize your quiet, compliant goodness. Or, you can step into reality. You can choose the other path, the harder path, the path of the strategist. You can become the architect of your own outcomes, a person who operates on cold, hard leverage, not on warm, fuzzy hope. Someone who is respected not for being nice, but for being ruthlessly effective. Someone who moves through this world with a deep, unshakable calm, because they are no longer a victim of other people's rules, but the master of their own. Most people will hear these words and call them cynical. They will call them cruel or dark. They need to believe in the bedtime story of fairness, because the alternative, the terrifying, exhilarating burden of taking full, absolute responsibility for their own power, is too much for them to bear. But you are still here. You have listened this far. That means you are different. You are ready for the truth. You are ready to wake up. Fairness is a bedtime story we tell our children to help them sleep at night. Power is the language the world actually speaks when the sun comes up. It is time you learned how to speak it fluently. If this video shattered a lie that you have been living under, prove it. Smash that like button. Share this forbidden knowledge with someone who is still trapped, someone who is still playing by rules that were designed to make them lose. And subscribe to this channel for more truths that will make you dangerously, unstoppably powerful. Now, for your final act of commitment today, leave this declaration in the comments below. I am the architect of my own justice. Remember this, always. The game is constantly being played. The only choice you have is whether you will be a pawn, moved by an invisible hand, or the player who commands the board. Stop playing fair. Start playing to win.